What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. How are y'all doing? I hope you are having a wonderful day. What is on my desk? Sorry. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm in a bush, guys. I'm a bush shaman now. Nobody knows where I am. Bum 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 bum. Listen, I hope you're all doing very well. Hope you're having a good week. It's the weekend. Hope you guys are chilling out, playing some WoW. I'm going to talk about a plus 22 streets that we did. We did do it last week. I haven't done any huge keys yet this week, I don't think. I've been mostly doing stuff on my rogue, trying to get my item level up. But I've also been farming Plague Falls, so I've been blue in the face. And a bunch of the pox weapons have dropped for other people, and they haven't been able to trade it to me. So, yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Listen, plus 22 streets. We did a Skybreakers build. The last 22 I talked to you guys about, somebody was asking, why'd you do Primal Lava Actuators over Skybreakers? And last week was a tyrannical week, right? Am I insane? Yeah. No, this week's tyrannical. Last week was a fortified week. I think that's when I did this. We're going to see in the video. Either way, it doesn't really matter. When you're running Primal Lava Actuators, you want to run it because you want priority target damage, right? You're taking all the damage that's coming from your Flame Shocks and you're funneling that into one target. And then if it's a tyrannical week, you got extra good boss damage. If it's a fortified week, it's probably better to go with Skybreakers because you're getting huge crits on all the different Flame Shocks and getting massive cooldown reduction on Chain Harvest, and then your Chain Harvest comes back quicker. So let me get into the build that I ran. We were Venthyr, so we have Chain Harvest, and we were Skybreakers. All your Flame Shock crits reduce the cooldown of your Fire Elemental, which you don't have, but that's okay. Flame Shock gets 50% more crit chance. Really, really huge because Chain Harvest gets its cooldown reduced by 1 second every time Flame Shock crits. So you start with a giga huge Chain Harvest once you've built up Maelstrom stacks. That gets all your Flame Shocks out. They start critting. All those crits reduce the cooldown of your Chain Harvest. You get another Chain Harvest out. You get a lot of Chain Harvests out. That's the point here. I think I cast Chain Harvest 48 times in a 32-minute dungeon. So that is much, much quicker than once per minute. That's about every 40 seconds I'm casting Chain Harvest. It's a 1.5 minute cooldown. I'm casting it every 40 seconds. So literally cuts the cooldown in half if you run this build. And of course your Flame Shocks do crazy amounts of damage. This is just passive ticking damage, so it's kind of cool. So that's how the build functions. I played Theatar. I think it's going to show Nadi here, but I played Theatar. I have my party favors. You get the Mastery proc from Soothing Shade, which makes all your fire damage hit even harder. We went Lavish Harvest into Focus Lightning into Magma Fist. This is a pure fire build. Lashing Flames, Hot Hand, Fire Nova. You want to spread your Flame Shocks. If you get a Hot Hand proc, you want to tab target through enemies. It's the same playstyle as PLA, just that you don't have priority target damage. You have spread AoE damage instead. Let's get to the VOD. Let's get to the video. Let me move over here. Video review. Of course, it's going to show me the wrong desktop because that's how we roll over here. Wait, whoops. So was it the right one? Hello? There it is. Guys, this is not my first time, but even though it looks like it's my first time. So let's get this rolling. We have some trash going on at the beginning. Again, this is where your build should really shine. You see we're doing about 22k. On almost every AoE pack, we're going to do like 20 to 22k, depending on kind of how things are going. But you get a lot of crits, and the cooldown reduction of Chain Harvest, look at it fly down. Let me just back up a little bit. Watch this pull. So Chain Harvest is coming off cooldown. I cast it right here. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Chain Harvest is back. That's a 20-second cooldown. Maybe I was a little slow. Let's call it 20 to 25-second cooldown. Do you see what I'm saying there? Like, that's what you get out of this build. That's the cooldown reduction you get on Chain Harvest, and you can cast it again. And look, I'm doing 23k damage. So it's good on AoE packs. It's not quite as good on Tyrannical weeks, which this was a fortified week. This was last week. So I think it's really, really good to run this on fortified weeks. Now, a couple of hints with this mini boss guy, if you guys don't know. This mini boss does a really, really nasty damaging ability. I forget exactly what it's called. We're going to see it in a second here, but you can LOS it. That's why we're tanking him near the corner here. This is the mini boss before the regular boss. Radiant Pulse. That's what you need to dodge.
This LOS, 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 LOS.
So you can see Lynx and Sleeper were not able to LOS that, but that's okay. But it does a lot of damage. This guy is buffed on Fortified Week, right? Very, very buffed on Fortified Week. So, but you can see, even with the Skybreakers build, which is like a AoE build versus PLA, we're still doing 14k on a single target, which is actually fine for Enhancement Shaman. So, try to LOS the Radiant Pulse. I get clipped there by stupid things. Here's Zo'phex. Let me get my notes up here. Zo'phex, nothing actually crazy to talk about here. I might just skip past it. You guys know this fight by now. He's going to take your weapon. You have to get people out of... you have to watch out for the shield. Nothing too crazy here. On Fortified Week, this also goes down a lot quicker than normal, right? So you get a couple casts of Chain Harvest off because of the build that we're running, Skybreakers. But I would say I'm going to do less damage overall than if I was running PLA. You can see I'm doing about 11k here, 10.5 by the end. We would do a lot more as PLA. Little hint on Inspired Weeks. You want to CC this Inspired mob over here. I think Sleepa and I both get it. I think he throws a trap on it as well. You want to make sure you CC that guy. And then Joe tries to pull everybody over here. We don't do a very good job of it on this run. Later on, I think we did another Streets. Oh, no, this is where Joe does a good job. Never mind. So he pulls everybody else together, and that frog over there is just going to chill. Because you want to be able to kick these guys and all the abilities they're doing. So make sure you CC the mobs that are inspired. And then I actually tab took and hit him with Chain Harvest. It's entirely my fault. So I actually totally messed it up. But the strategy is that you want to CC the inspired guy, and then you want to kill the rest of the pack. So let's move on here. On Fortified Weeks, I still actually think you should go left here and do the mini bosses. But... our damage,
just thinking Dread, I think.
The damage profile that we have in our group is really better on AoE, like much, much better. So there's potentially a case to be made for going to the right and just doing the AoE packs. But I still think that no matter what, it's better to go left. It just, these guys are worth so much percentage. Like we're at 46% right now. Watch when he dies. We go to 53. That one guy is worth 7% of your dungeon. Like that's way quicker than killing the other. If you go to the right and kill all the trash over there. These Lava Breath guys, as I've always said a million times, you have to have a plan for kicking Ancient Dread. So you have to have a teams of 2 need to kick Ancient Dread. And then you actually, on higher keys on Fortified, you really should be kicking Lava Breath as well, or it's going to kill your tank. Joe pops a bunch of cooldowns here. You can see Joe has 196,000 health right now, which is ridiculous. But he's popped a bunch of cooldowns to stay alive through Lava Breath. But you really should... have a kick order for Lava Breath as well as Ancient Dread. But you can't let either of them go off. That's really how that goes. And then we kill those guys. What percentage are they worth?
Lava Breath.
We go from 53 to... wait, they weren't worth anything. Oh, 57. So they're worth... oh, 61. There we go. 53 to 61. So even those guys are worth 9%. No, not 9%. 8%. 8% of your dungeon. That's insane. So, like, it's just better. Then we pull the big dinosaur down here with the cats. It's a little dangerous because the dinosaur does a lot of thrash, a lot of AoE damage with wild thrash. So you have to be kind of careful.
Charge.
He does frenzy charge. You don't want to hit everybody with that. Only hit one person with that if possible. So it's a little bit dicey here on Fortified, but you can do it. You just have to keep your head up and get as much damage out as you can and get him down. Then you can start... you can start the RP on the next boss fight. I just want to make sure I show this. Lynx right here in the bottom corner. Or you can't see him. He's on my camera. Let me move my camera. Lynx is right here. Okay? You see him there? He's running off to do the RP. It's kind of like over here. Sorry. It's kind of like over here. You can see Lynx right there. He's running this direction. You can go to the door and start the RP. I'm going to show you that right now. So he's running over there. You see him?
Can you go jump on the window there?
And then the RP will start on the bottom of our screen. So you want to do that. That starts the Menagerie boss fight RP. That's this area right here. And then you can start the Menagerie boss fight right away. So here's Fortified. Again, as always, you want to... the first boss, you just DPS down. The second boss, you want to tank him in the corner.
That's why I pay $15 every month.
You want to tank him in the corner so that when he starts releasing all the blue balls... I know I'm going to get comments for that. That's pretty funny. When he releases the blue balls... it'll bounce off the edge here. Now, I have also, he's going to do this flat. He's gonna pummel the tank. Basically, I forget what it's called. But anyway, you're gonna see in a second. I'm gonna purge the shield, and then I'm gonna kick his cast. Watch it right here.
Maybe purge kick. Ready for it?
Flagellation protocol. Purge kick.
There
Boom.
it is.
It's done. So make sure you have somebody to do that as well. If you're playing Shaman, you can purge the shield and kick his punching. That'll save the tank a lot of health. Then he does his venting protocol where this is the blue balls. You can collect them all, see how easy this is because Joe's tanking him in the corner. That's what you want to do. It's very, very easy. Then you're going to kill him. Then the third boss comes out, and that's it. Those are all the strategic points I can kind of give you, I think, for this boss fight. Make sure that you tank the second boss in the corner for the blue balls. Make sure that you kick Flagellation Protocol and then, or purge the shield and then kick it so that you save your tank a lot of health. And then just don't get sucked in with the whirling blades. Oh, and then Caz has a really good, watch this.
His gate tech.
Yeah, this is a good gate. I'm taking it back.
I honestly do that all the time.
So like start sliding, I'm like, it'll place it where I started the cast at, right?
Caz had an unfortunate gate. We're gonna call it his good. That's a good gate tech right there. These guys here, the Peacekeepers, they'll put the little shield above themselves. It's like Phalanx Field, I think is what it's called. Just make sure you have Cap Totem for that.
It's just gonna cost us the key. That's
Don't
all.
save your Sundering for it. Use your Sundering on cooldown, but
No big deal.
you should save your Cap Totem for when they do Phalanx Field. But that's about it. You want to get up here. This mini boss guy, he's hard to kill, of course.
Did.
Caz, it's really unfortunate. Caz keeps getting picked here. Watch this. Every time. I keep thinking they're going to troll us and make Sleepa and I get the lethal force thing together.
You see this dog shit? You see this dog shit hero? I can't stand on that.
No, there's a spot. I was gonna just tell you. See, just to the left, there's a little spot where you.
Hero's talking about this spot.
Yeah, I can't do it as a fucking gnome.
He's a gnome, though. Kaz is too short.
No,
He's too short.
No, I've tried every different way to do it.
Wait, I can do it in my skeleton form.
Yeah. And then Kaz remembers that he has a toy. Exactly, because you're tall.
Yeah. This little ledge right here, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
He's right there. He's
Yeah,
too short.
Target not in line of sight.
I think it's like actually because he's short, which is crazy.
I legit have
It
to
is,
come all the way out here.
He remembers here that he has a toy. Fury isn't talking about getting things up. Sounds like a personal problem. Thank you. Then he turns into Gammon. So Kaz turns into Gammon. It is, okay?
Hey, look, I forgot my tech.
Legitimately, he needs to use Gammon on this fight every single time so that he's tall enough.
I can't believe I forgot that. I gotta remember to put that on my shit.
Oh, careful here. Anyway, that was pretty funny that the Gammon.
Joe.
If it actually matters how tall you are right there, which is pretty dumb. So then Joe's gonna run in here and he's gonna pull the mailroom guys outside. I'm gonna show you that in a second. First of all, go to this gate, turn on this gate in case your team wipes, so that you can get back here very quickly. You're gonna kill this Phalanx Field guy, and then Joe's gonna pull everybody out around to this corner here. This is what we do. Pull everything out here, so you can fight it all right here. And then you can just AoE it down. It's really, really good. That's a good idea. That's what you want to do. So blow them all up right here. And then we get the wrong.
Like you just saved a bunch of time there.
You want to get the Wo Automa so you can do the market like really, really quickly. We didn't get it, unfortunately. We failed there. It actually is going to matter on a higher key a lot.
Funny,
so
like, it's a funny thing, right?
make sure you get the Wo Automa, and then you can do this much more quick. I'm not going to show you the market RP. I end up doing it, but we could have done it so much faster if we gotten the Wo Automa. So that's actually a pretty critical error. If you're doing this dungeon, make sure you get the Wo Automa there. Then we're going to do the music boss. Nothing crazy to talk about here. I just want to mention that when the ads come out, you can very easily kick them. There's always an ad right over here that will spawn that you can kick as a shaman. So here it comes. Hyperlate Bull. You need to kick that guy so that he comes in with the rest of the group because Joe's trying to group them together. So I kick him, and then he starts walking in, and then you can group them all up. And Joe can group them up anyway because he's a Death Knight. But if you don't have a Death Knight, it's very helpful to be help group those guys up for your team. So that's all I actually want to say about the music boss fight because this fight is very easy. Once Zogron actually comes out, it's not a difficult fight whatsoever. Anyway, you can use your I'm just gonna skip past it. Actually, you guys know this fight. You know what's going on. It's not a big deal. So listen, at this point in the dungeon, we have 9 minutes left. We still have 7% trash and 2 bosses to kill. So it's actually quite tight, and we're a little bit... This is why I mentioned the market RP. If you can do that faster, it's a really big deal. But we have to clean up the postmaster, the mailroom trash, and then we have 2 bosses left. So it's actually a little scary. We're a little tight for time. It's not tyrannical, so this is doable. But we have to kill this trash first. So we end up pulling this trash together, and we blow it up. Then we have a double haste buff on the floor, and we have lust up for the postmaster.
Lust this?
Yep, here on pool.
So we have something like 125% haste or something. Joe's almost dead. So we're doing big damage, 32k right now because we have so much haste. Our flame shocks are ticking so quickly right now, 36k right there. That was pretty insane. Our flame shocks are ticking like crazy fast. So we want to get down, and then we do have to respect the mechanics here, of course, and do the actual packages as they come down. I got a hot hand proc, so I'm trying to get all my damage out right now before I pick up a package. If you get something like that, that's actually a really good idea. So my hot hand window is down, so now I'm going to do the package stuff. Pretty important, actually, to... You want to min-max the different fights that are like this. One thing I could have used here was Door of Shadows. I completely failed to use that. I didn't think that was going to go in, but it did. It was really tight, actually. I was kind of clenching for that one. But if you get a big cooldown that procs, like hot hands, like I have right now, make sure you stay on the boss and get your damage in before you drop the hot hand proc, because it's really, really important. So, we get through this fight. We get a really lucky spawn, I would say, on the... and then Caz, unfortunately, throws it, and the portal ends for him.
Yeah.
I think that's Lynx. I don't know who that is.
Same one as last time.
Maybe it's Sleepa. It's Sleepa. Anyway, they do a good job. Sleepa did a really good job there. He completely saved that last bomb. That was so close to not going in. So he saved us there. We end up killing the boss. Not a big deal. And we have 4 minutes left for the final boss. Now, on a fortified week, that's actually doable. The final boss can be kind of tricky because he's going to jump around, right? And he's going to
I'll grab.
he's going to delay our damage a little bit. But for the most part, you can have full uptime on this boss. So we have 3 minutes.
I was just thinking for cooldowns, but
3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Let's nuke Vi down like right away.
So we decide to get Vi
Don't let
for
it
the
jump around 100
for the
times.
haste, which I think is the right call. I think it's the right call. I save my chain harvest actually so I can get the Vi. We want to kill Vi right away because Vi will jump around and be very, very frustrating to deal with. So I make sure to do as much damage to Vi as I can. Our first
On
relocation
triangle/circle
is on circle. Now we have 15% more haste, and we're doing some extra damage. I think that's really, really good for us. We have a haste.
Watch the divide here.
We have a group that benefits from haste quite a bit. So everything's going fine. I actually get my proc on my... We get the next divide there.
Okay, here comes the divide.
Here we go. Things start to get a little bit messy here in a minute.
We're at square right now. Let's see where it ends up.
2 minutes and 29 seconds here. I get another Soothing Shade proc there. That's a lot of mastery.
Gonna be a diamond
So it's
now.
on triangle. We get very lucky there. That's very lucky. So we don't have to move.
Go ahead and go.
We're going to go. One thing I completely forget that I have on this is my Door of Shadows. I'm so not used to having Door of Shadows on Shaman because usually I play Necrolord. So it's something that I could have used to save my life here in a minute, and I completely flub it. And you're going to see when everything kind of hits the fan here. So this is our last chunk of damage before he's going to jump away, I think, and start channeling. See, the damage is just not as good on without having PLA. If I had PLA right now, my single target damage would be huge, but it's not. So, but that's okay. We'll get there. All right. He jumps, he divides, he does it on triangle. So we're nowhere near triangle. We have to go to circle and then to square. But by the time we're at circle, we're going to already have this thing on us. This is the absolute worst placement of this circle because we can't really get to it. So I actually go through circle and I'm like, wait, I got to go back. Now we're just going to wait for circle and kind of cheat this thing.
That's a good call.
So now I go through a little early and I actually get hit.
Anyway. Oh, how did I get hit there?
So I pop my defensive and I start healing myself. Then we get another Shuri, and it's right over there. So you have to be very careful. What I completely forget here is that I have Door of Shadows. Could have saved myself here. We go through circle, and then I'm kind of like, don't know where to go. So I go through square, which is okay. Everything's okay.
Might be dead.
But I think Lynx gets caught by the one. He just dies. He's a priest, right? So then the next circle's coming, and then he jumps away here.
Yeah, drag him if you
So we were going to actually just commit right there and try and kill him, but he jumped away. So then I should have teleported right through there. Right there, I should have teleported through. I die right here. I reincarn, but I reincarn on circle, so I have to go back through circle. Then I can go through triangle. Then I can get to him to get the kick. I was just like freaking out, but like it was actually fine. We had more than enough time. But we have like 25 seconds left. Imagine if we had done the market RP with Wo. We would have saved ourselves several minutes of time if we had done the Wo.
Holy cow, that was crazy.
Wo skip for the market. So just something to keep in mind. You got to remember these kinds of things when you're thinking about like what can we do better. How can we make this better on our team? It's things like the Wo skip that really make a big difference. So our damage overall was not very impressive, but in the moments where we needed damage, I think it was actually pretty good. Chain Harvest did have a couple moments where it really healed people in a big way. But we did, in fact, get a plus 22 down now. So we've got a couple 22s down. We got Streets, and we've got Halls. And we did try Spires, but we ended up failing. So I'm going to keep pushing on the 22s with the Shaman. I'm going to try and get my Rogue a bunch of gear. I'm really trying to get those weapons from Plaguefall. That's a really big deal if I can get them, because my damage output will just go through the roof. So I'm going to try and get the Rogue up so I can start doing some bigger keys on the Rogue, because I'm really kind of excited about actually the Rogue and the damage that it's able to put out. It's quite phenomenal. So I'm excited about that. But that's the plus 22 Streets, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What did you think about the different strategies that we have to employ? Have you tried them all out? What do you think about going left and taking on the mini bosses versus taking on all the trash on the right-hand side? Do you think it's always better to go left? I think it personally kind of always is. Even if you have a composition that's designed to do AoE damage, I think it's probably just better to go left. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Drop a like if you liked the video. Sub if you haven't already. And if you want to support the future of what I'm doing on this channel, Patreon is the best way to do that. There's a link down below. I love you all very much. I'll see you in the next one.